Hello, you're welcome to my channel. My name remains Sarah Makati. So for this video, I'll be using a pattern paper, my stiff. I would also be making use of a cotton fusible interface. Some people call it collar stay, depends on what it's called in your region. I'll be making use of an Ankara fabric. This is a cotton Ankara fabric, and my scissors, my paper scissors and my fabric scissors. So let's get right to it. Alright, so this is my pattern sheet and it's folded already. So I'm going to fold it again this way, making it neatly folded. Then I'll start from the folded edge. This area of the paper is the folded edge, not the open edge. So I'll be measuring 11.5 inches from this folded tip. I'll mark it down and I'll keep on marking 11.5 inches like so in a clockwise direction. So for the sake of the camera, I'll simply trace it well so that it's going to be more visible. Now go ahead and cut it out. Alright, so the next step is to cut the circumference for the head here. My client has a low cut, so I'm going to be using 3 inches to cut it round. So a quick tip is the circumference of your head, should be divided. When you measure, use your tape and measure round your head. You measure whatever you get, you divide it by 6.28, okay, and round it up to the nearest 1/8, okay. Then you mark it like so from the tip to whatever figure you get, but for me I'm using 3 inches. So I'll make it more visible for the sake of the camera, then I'll cut it off. So this is going to serve as the base of the hat. I'll open it well for you to see, while this here is going to serve as the brim of the hat. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the structure for the hat, or will I say the body of the hat. So now I have already folded the pattern paper here that I will be using. Then you would measure round the base. You remeasure around the base. So when I measured round, what I got was 22 inches. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, and I marked it. Remember I said you can use your own unique measurement, okay. So what I used here may be different from what you would use, but nonetheless it's still fine. So the width, now I'll be marking 5 inches for the width. And I'll simply square it out like this. Having done that, now I'll go ahead and cut it out like so. All right, so here's my Ankara fabric, and I'll go ahead and cut it with this pattern, and also I'll cut it with the brim of the hat, the pattern. Now I'm going to be using the Ankara for the both sides of the hat. You could use a plain fabric, you could use a complementary fabric, depends on your taste. All right, so now for the sleeve, I'll be using it to cut the brim, okay, to give it more structure. Then the cutting interface, I'll be using to cut the base of the hat as well as the body of the hat. I hope it's understood. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. So now I have cut and I have stitched the sleeve onto the Ankara. As you can see, I ran a stay stitch. Then this is the lining. Remember I said I'm using the Ankara for both the lining and the body of the hat. Okay, so I'm now going to attach. You can see the base of the hat. I've already put the cutting interface. I've also gummed the interface on the body of the hat, okay, and I made two of each, because one is the lining and one is for the main front of the hat. So now you fold the base of the hat into two, and I'll go ahead and pin it down like so. Having done that, I'll take the second part and I'll do the same. So now I'll run half an inch, which I have already done here. Okay, now for this one, I intend to use it as my lining, so I stitched up to this point here and I left a gap, okay, as you can see, while I stitched up the remaining parts. You can see that there's an opening here, which you would understand later in the video. Now what I'll do is this one that is having an opening will be used for the lining, okay, or the back part of the hat. So I'm going to turn the wrong side facing each other and I'll hold it together. I'll hold it together with my pin like so, okay. So you have to kind of ease it a bit in case of excess, okay, but be careful while doing it, all right, because you want it to be having pleats or gathers when you sew. Just take your time and do it gently. Okay, so now I'm going to do for the second one as well, and I'll be right back. Alright, now I've joined it. As you can see, I've joined it. I have also joined that of the lining, the one I'll be using for the lining for the hat. Alright, so now I will be notching it round to give it a better finish. And after I notch it, Please ensure you notch it, okay? You will not want your work to be looking unprofessional. So I would do the same for our main heart. Okay. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to attach the base of the heart. So you simply hold it down. You see the way I flipped it, and then pick it up gently and you hold it down with your pins. If you've gained value from this video, kindly subscribe or hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate. Also, let me know where you're watching from, what country are you watching from, so I can give a shout out to you in my next video. Remember that this is kind of like a circle, so when you're trying to pin it, gently ease it so that everything is going to fit in. It can get tricky, but I'm sure you'll be able to get the hold of it. Okay. So we're going to stitch it up, and I will also do the same for the lining. I would attach the base to the head, to the top of it, and I've stitched it already. As you can see, I've already stitched it. I've stitched that of the lining and that of the main heart itself. Now I'm placing it right side facing each other, and I'll go ahead and stitch round the brim. Okay, I'll go ahead and stitch round the brim of the heart, as you can see. Alright, so now I'm done stitching round the brim. You can see it is neatly stitched, so I have already notched it. Now the next thing I'll do, if you recall, I left an opening here in this area. It's simply meant to serve as the means by which we can turn the heart to the front. So this is the time where we turn it out to the front. You have to be very careful when doing this. It can it can sap you of your energy sometimes. It can be really tasking, but sewing is patience, even though sewing is fun. So I think you'll be able to do it. I believe you'll be able to do it, just like I did. Yeah, finally I've done it. This is the finished work. You can see the heart is looking beautiful. I ran a stay stitch around the hem in order to secure the stiff. You can see our heart is looking really lovely. It's ready. So now for the back, we are going to close the opening. Remember, there's an opening here through which we're able to bring out the heart. So we are going to close the opening here by running a blind stitch. Okay, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So till my next video, stay blessed and bye bye.